2 hours later. The next morning. One long, angry line later.
Don't start anything with anyone. What are you trying to do? And I'm like,
I'm responding to people once again falsely accusing me.
If I could give one piece of advice to anybody who does YouTube, wants to do YouTube, or has a large following, it would be how you respond to situations dictates how the internet will perceive you. That can be positive, negative, disliked, heavily liked. Your response, your behavior, can shape you, or it can break you. And today we enter the Gabbie Hanna files. I recommend you grab a root beer, some popcorn, because we're gonna start from the very beginning and work all the way to current day as of April 22nd, 2021. I almost said 22. But before we begin, special thanks to the sponsor of the channel today, Raycon. These are their brand new E25 earbuds. And boy, they are snazzy looking. These guys are incredibly comfortable. Easy Bluetooth pairing, fantastic bass, different colors, they're stylish, and have a compact noise isolating fit right into your ear. And look at that, they even have different sizes for your ear. I myself use these every single night when I go to sleep listening to ASMR. And if you click the URL down below in the description, buyraycon.com/Repzion, you'll get 15% off your order because these earbuds are a fraction of the price of normal premium earbuds that you would buy on the market today. Support the channel, click the link, and try Raycon out for yourself to see what all the hype is about. Gabbie Hanna strikes me as the type of girl in high school who everybody would dislike. However, she thinks that she's the funniest person all around. We all know those types of people. Gabbie Hanna's channel started in 2014. Her videos consisted of Q&As, pranks, but most of all, her notorious storytime videos. She had a very eccentric, bubbly, happy-go-lucky personality, which back in the day of YouTube was a great way to grow an audience fast of young folks. It wasn't until 2015-2016 where Gabbie would experience her very first mini controversy that news outlets did cover, but that Reddit called out first. A post on Reddit highlighted that she had been stealing jokes from other comedians, not just once, twice, 3 times, or 4 times, but this was a repetitive occurrence on multiple different occasions, and people were really upset about it. In response to this Reddit post, she made a 22-minute video explaining her side of the jokes that she stole, but most of all, her #1 response to the whole ordeal is that it was not intentional.
as promised, I am finally addressing this whole joke stealing scandal that keeps being brought up over and over and over again. With the internet, especially when somebody decides that they hate you, there's really not much changing their mind or anything that you can do to fix that. So basically, I'm talking about this video that came out on December 23rd. The reason I remember it is December 23rd is because it was my entire Christmas and New Year's was on my phone when I should have been with my family, just like obsessed with comments and followers and subscribers, and just kind of my world felt like it was collapsing in. And this guy made a video where he basically accused me of stealing jokes and profiting on other people's content and building this whole platform on other people's content, and said that I was making money off the work of others, etc., etc. And he had 4 examples. Also, I'm just gonna say this now, I haven't watched that video since it came out on December 23rd, so if some of these facts like are a little off, like the exact wording or whatever, it's because I haven't watched it since, but they should be pretty accurate. So I think he had like 4 examples in there. The first one was a tweet from Bo Burnham, and the wording is a little off. It was like, sorry, I forgot about the Titans, something like that. And then I had a tweet that was very similar, and he pulled it up. I don't remember if it was exact words or very similar, but he pulled up the tweets, put them side by side, and was like, look, Bo Burnham tweeted this, and then a couple months later, she tweeted this. And they were actually years apart. If you look at the date, it was either 2 or 3 years apart. So basically, I just didn't steal that. It's like either I creeped back on Bo Burnham for 3 years, which I'm probably the biggest Bo Burnham fan on the planet, but I didn't do that. Or I saw the tweet and then was sitting on it, which was like waiting 2 or 3 years, waiting for the perfect moment to tweet it. That's not how it happened. I was just in a store and I saw Remember the Titans, and I was with my friends, and I was like, oh, I forgot the Titans, and I tweeted it. Again, I didn't steal it. I'm not saying that there isn't a chance that 2 or 3 years ago I was rolling through my feed, and I don't know if I was following Bo on Twitter at the time. Maybe I saw it in my feed and laughed, stored it somewhere in my brain, and then when I saw it, I thought it. But even if that happened, I never intentionally stole that joke. And then there were a couple others. One was Mitch Hedberg. I don't remember if there was another one that was in the tweets, but it was just like a bunch of like very similar thoughts of things that weren't particularly unique ideas, but I could see why if you're a huge Bo fan, you're a huge Mitch fan, you would look at that and say, damn, this bitch stole that. And I get that. And again, I'm a huge Mitch fan too. He's one of my absolute favorites, rest in peace. And I used to listen to that album once I saw the bit that they were talking about. I used to listen to that album all the time and watch the stand-up special on Netflix with my ex-boyfriend at the time. And yeah, I definitely heard that Mitch joke before. I still to this day, when I look back at that, I don't think like, wow, I very vividly remember that. However, this Louis C.K. bit, the one that everybody, like, that's the one that keeps getting recycled over and over and over as, like, she steals jokes. Understandably so, because I think when you look at the other ones, you're sort of like, okay, that's kind of a stretch to say that she stole these tweets, whatever. But this Louis C.K. joke, the second I saw what he was doing, where he put that next to that, like, mine versus his, I was like, holy, I stole that joke. I saw the Bo Burnham one, I was like, okay, absolutely not. Like, I did not steal that joke. When I saw the Louis C.K. one, my heart dropped. But I will say that it was not intentional. I listen to Louis C.K. almost every single morning. Well, I don't anymore because I'm kind of like scarred, but I used to play Pandora, Louis C.K. station, Bo Burnham station. Sometimes I would listen to Daniel Tosh's station, and it's just a shuffle of comedians.
I just find it very ironic that her response to something is, it wasn't intentional, but here's me being big fans of all of these people who I'm copying from. At that point, it doesn't really make a lot of logical sense to me how somebody can claim not to do something intentionally while being big fans of the people who they're stealing from. Now, at the end of the day, a lot of comedians have stolen jokes from each other. Just look at Jimmy Kimmel, for example, who has also taken jokes from other people. But I think a general good rule of thumb is if you're going to take something that isn't yours and pass it on, just simply quote it and tag the person who you're, using their quote from or their joke or whatever. It's way easier to do that. I'm not going to get into the, moral ambiguity argument on whether taking somebody's joke is really a big deal or not. I'm just highlighting this fact because this was one of the first controversies that she had. Now, Gabbie's second controversy was actually the first time I ever heard of her. You may have heard of another YouTuber by the name of Rice Gumball, as I like to call him, aka a Rice Gum. Asian dude who does diss tracks, raps, and flashes all his bling and yada yada yada. Not my type of channel personally, but I didn't know who Gabbie Hanna was until this controversy arose because it gained a lot of publicity, and again, for all of the wrong reasons. And I'm not going to go into detail explaining this. I'll just kind of show you these clips. It's kind of self-explanatory. But one of the key things you need to take in mind here is Gabbie Hanna has said on the record that she dramatizes things. And when you dramatize things, especially that involve real other people, and you take a situation and you dramatize it into something bigger than it is, or you use key words that make it seem worse than it is, or that portray a different narrative than the one that you're trying to spin, that's when I take issue with it.
But honestly, if RiceGum ever wants to like live freestyle battle, like drop a beat right now. Hey RiceGum, I just challenged you to a live battle on Snapchat. Would you do it?
No.
Live rap battle. Why wouldn't you do it?
Nah, I don't want to do it.
Alright, so Rice doesn't have his ghostwriter today. It's fine. I think we can still battle. I think we're good. No? You don't want to do it? Okay, so update. Sorry if it looks like I'm crying. RiceGum didn't think that joke was very funny, and he hit me in the middle of a party and shattered my phone. I can show you that in a sec. I'm standing out on the balcony so that it doesn't like make... He literally like, everybody's like, did he hit you? And I was like, yeah, he did.
We actually have RiceGum here.
Yo, what up, what up?
Yeah,
People think I hit a girl, but I didn't.
Yeah, exactly. So he DM'd me earlier today. He's like, dude, I didn't do any of this. This is all fake. So I decided, why don't we get him on for an interview? So I'm going to ask him a few questions here, and let's see how he responds. So what happened between the Snapchats that Gabbie posted where she approaches you in one, and the next she's claiming that you hit her?
So 100%. People say there's two sides to every story, but there's literally only one side, bro. Like, this is exactly what happened. I'm not exaggerating. This is exactly what happened, right? Alex Wasabi birthday party. I literally moved to LA yesterday. I moved all my shit in. I'm tired as shit. It's 9 p.m. or, like, even later. I'm like, I forgot. Alex hits me up like, yo, it's my birthday. Come to this party. And, me and him are good friends. So I pull up. I'm tired of shit. I'm on the couch doing my own thing. I'm like, in the snaps, you can see me on the couch just relaxing, right? I'm on the couch chilling. Go watch her Snapchat. Before she came up to me, she had 2 Snapchats saying, "Oh my God, RiceGum's at this party. I'm gonna go talk to him." Like, she was planning to approach me, planning to start stuff. Like, I was literally minding my own business. So if she never came up to me and did what she did and disrespected me, I would not have done what I did. So I was literally sitting talking to some guy. She comes up to me and she's like, "RiceGum, let's have a rap battle." Like, on Snapchat. I'm sitting there, posted up. She walks up and she's like, "RiceGum, let's have a battle." And you guys can see her first snap too. I was like trying to play along because once again it was so awkward. So then I was like, nah. So I did that, super awkward. Tried to play along because I didn't know what to do. And then she posts that snap. I didn't really like it, and she takes out her phone again and snaps. And that second snap where I was just sitting like speechless because, like, think about it. I was at a party. I was not expecting people to record anything. I was posted, and she comes up to me, right? So then I asked her that. So while she's posting that second snap of just trashing me, like talking shit in my face on camera, and she says it's a joke. Like, how is that a joke? Like, she's doing it. But anyways, after she posted that, I was like, "Hey, can you not post that? Can you not do that?" Like, I asked her really nicely. You can ask anyone at the party. I did not hit her. And there's actually proof that she has bruises on her knees before I quote-unquote hit her, whatever. So she's just making up
I just
bullshit.
saw that on Twitter. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
pretty convincing.
There's literally proof of her bruises that I supposedly did, but she had those bruises before.
Now, RiceGum did release a diss track on Gabbie Hanna, which received over 50 million views. It was a pretty big trending topic. There were some eyewitness testimonies, including the considering his record on YouTube, but regardless, you have to take into account every aspect of other people who are witnessing an event like this. That's really important. It doesn't matter what you think of them. When you have other people who saw things, it's important to listen to what they have to say to come to your own conclusion.
RiceGum, I'm cool with Gabbie, so this is completely non-biased. I was sitting right there and I saw the whole thing happen, and I feel like a lot of misinformation is being thrown around, and also the whole thing's being overly exaggerated. So basically, you know, what happened was me and RiceGum were talking, you know, chit-chatting or whatever, catching up, and, you know, Gabbie sits on the couch and sticks the camera in his face snapping, you know, and obviously, you know, she didn't mean any harm by it. She was just joking around, but she just keeps snapping and snapping, you know, and, you know, we're at a birthday party, so I feel like maybe it's not the right place and situation to be doing, you know, that kind of stuff, because, you know, everyone's drinking, so it's not like everyone wants to be on camera and things like that. So, you know, so he tells her, like, "Hey, can you not post that?" And I think maybe she didn't realize that he was being serious and thought that maybe he was joking, so she just kept snapping and, you know, doing more snaps, talking about the diss and on the video, you know, or whatever. And, you know, he asked her, I think maybe like 2 or 3 more times, like, "Hey, can you not post that?" And she just kept filming, and he just jumped up, you know, and went to reach for her phone, and she's sitting on the couch, he's standing up, and it was more of like a tug of war, you know, them pulling the phone back and forth, maybe for a few seconds, and then he snatched the phone out of her hand and slammed down the ground and broke the phone and then walked out. Was he being aggressive? Yes, definitely. Definitely more aggressive than he should have been for the situation. Did I see him hit her? Definitely not. Did he twist her arm? Definitely not. He wasn't pinning her down. He didn't hit her. He didn't twist her arm. I would say honestly that this was just, you know, it was more of like a tug of war between, you know, grabbing the phone, and he slammed the phone down and broke it. That's pretty much all that really happened. I feel like the whole situation's being completely blown out of proportion, over exaggerated. I understand, you know, everyone's upset, but I mean, that's really what happened, and that's all there really is to it. He left. I talked to him afterwards. He sent $2,000 like right away pretty much to pay for the phone, and obviously the phone doesn't cost $2,000, so, you know, and yeah, that's pretty much all that happened. I understand she was really upset. He's probably really upset too. I think the whole thing is just, you know, I would compare it to an aggressive argument. You know, I think honestly, you know, people just get an argument and a disagreement, and, you know, it turns a little bit aggressive, but no one was hit, no one got
Funny, and he hit me in the middle of a party and shattered my phone.
Honestly, I don't blame RiceGum one bit. And by all means, he paid $1,000 to replace the phone instantly. Like, slapping a phone out of somebody's hand. Maybe you shouldn't just shove a camera. This is a not a camera. Maybe you just shouldn't shove a camera in somebody's face, because I have had that happen and it is not a pleasant experience and it makes anybody uncomfortable, and you can clearly tell in all this video footage that he was really uncomfortable. One of the things you're gonna see in other clips and videos is that Gabbie Hanna doesn't really seem to understand boundaries, social boundaries, I might say, in regards to other people. And I think that's one of the main reasons why, one of many reasons why she's heavily disliked, is because it just doesn't click with her. She doesn't read the room. She can't read the room.
Hi guys, I just got out from a night out with my friends. It's my friend's birthday, which was really nice. And I received some text that RiceGum was posting a diss track on me tomorrow. I think it's very interesting that he waited a few days. His ghostwriter must have been out of town or busy, but he must be back. Oh, burn. No, but it is interesting to me that he's responding to such a serious situation and such serious accusations with a diss track. This video is because I want to clear up some blatant lies that Brian has been spreading. The reason I posted this on my vlog channel in the first place, which I'll link that initial video below so you can catch the full story in real time and see what I'm talking about as far as like the evidence goes and what I actually said. I'll post that below because I didn't want this to garner a lot of attention. I didn't want this to be like a main channel drama video. I just wanted to get my side out there because I knew he was going to get his side out there, so I got my side out there as well. And I did it on my smaller platform because I didn't want it to become this big thing. But I don't know how people don't realize that RiceGum has zero credibility at this point. First, and most importantly, this is the thing that everybody keeps harping on. And he keeps going on all these drama channels and doing these interviews saying that I said that he beat my ass or beat the shit out of me or punched him in the face.
She's making it seem like I broke her phone and I beat her ass.
And the reality is I said the exact opposite publicly right away on multiple platforms. I'm not saying that he like beat the shit out of me. I'm not trying to say that like RiceGum like held me down and like punched me in the face. He didn't like beat the shit out of me, if that's the impression that you guys are getting. But he grabbed me, like twisted my arm, I think I said that, and like held me down, and I have like those scratches like up here and on my wrist and arm, and like I had a big scratch on my leg. I don't want it to seem like I'm like blowing this up and like he like punched me in the face and like destroyed my phone beyond repair. No, it's like cracked screen, cracked camera, scratches and stuff. That night, in the moment, I made sure that none of my followers thought or were under the impression that I was saying that Brian beat the shit out of me or punched me in the face, anything like that. And he's going to try to paint it like I backpedaled and I'm trying to take it back because initially I used the word hit, which by the way, the definition of hit is bring one's hand in contact with, quickly and forcefully, which he did. Cause harm or distress to, which he did. But I did say it in the heat of the moment. As soon as it happened, I kept saying RiceGum hit me because yes, when a man is on top of you and grabbing at you, it feels like, yes, he hit me. Line number 3, he says in an interview with Scarce, something along the lines of, I couldn't even scratch her if I wanted to, I don't have nails, or I don't have nails, I can't scratch.
Bro, I don't even have nails.
And then proceeds to post a degrading and disgusting video.
No, look. Watch. Oh my god, he hit me. Oh my god, he hit me. Oh my god, he hit me. Oh.
Not only insinuating that I inflicted self to frame him, but also proving that he does in fact have nails that can leave scratch marks.
Now, I'm not going to take sides in this stupid petty drama stuff that was years ago. However, I do think RiceGum and Gabbie Hanna are both foolish and dumb and petty because they both reacted poorly to a situation that could have been completely avoided had Gabbie Hanna just understood what normal social boundaries are and when somebody's uncomfortable and not to continue to force that. Remember how I said in the start of this video how you respond dictates how the internet will perceive you, like you, which leads right into the next point of Gabbie Hanna's Kenza Cosmetics scam. And yes, I am using the right term here, scam, because she promoted a product from Kenza Cosmetics. And as I was doing research into this, I discovered I made a video on this almost 3 years ago. But to summarize it really quickly, essentially you had Tana Mojo, Gabbie Hanna, and a couple other large influencers promoting these brushes. Now the reason that people were upset is because it was advertised as you pay $10 for shipping and you get these high quality, quote, 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 high quality brushes. But the problem is that on the website, Kenza Cosmetics, they were advertising these brushes as $100 in value and you're only paying $10 in shipping and you're getting like an $80, $90 discount. And what people found is that all these brushes that they were selling are super, super, super low quality. They're worth pennies, cents, yet they're advertising their product as $100 in value. It doesn't take an expert in people committing fraudulent scams to figure out the problem and why people were upset. And well, you know, Gabbie could have responded accordingly, and she kind of halfway did, but people got so upset at her is because she basically told fans that you get what you're paying for.
Promotions on my Instagram story, but this company, Kenza Cosmetics, is giving away their makeup brushes for free from 2018 while supplies last, and I figured it's free stuff. Why wouldn't I tell you guys? All you have to pay is shipping. Here are some of the 2018 styles that they're trying to get rid of to make room for 2019. I love these ones, these marble ones. Cute with that little fluffy brushes. Yes. So make sure to swipe up because that is where the link is. For $10 shipping, it's a $1 brush. So when I got the samples, I liked them. They're soft. I said this is something that I wouldn't mind showing my followers. Mostly confusing is people were calling it a scam days after they ordered, and the website was pretty clear about, you know, the shipping times are long. I believe it said between 10 and 21 business days, and then at one point it said that you wouldn't be getting your brushes till after Christmas, since, you know, they're free brushes and you're ordering free brushes, so there's going to be a high order volume. So I was very confused why everybody was making such a big deal about not getting their brushes yet, when the website was pretty clear about not getting your brushes for a while. So I emailed Kenza Cosmetics literally immediately, and I sent them the screenshots of the followers that I was talking to, and I said, are you aware of this? And they said, we don't know why people are saying that. We were very clear on the website about it being a long delivery time. And then I pushed further. I've been in conversation with them for a couple weeks now. Ever since this all started happening, I've kind of been on their ass saying what's going on. And then all these videos start popping up about me not caring about my fans and just trying to make a quick buck and never having even held the brushes before. So now that we've established that it's not a scam, because it's not. The website offers a product, you pay for the product, and then you get the product. That is not a scam. We can talk about the quality of the brushes, which I've already covered. I think that they're worth about $1 a brush, and that's why I felt okay advertising that to my followers, because unlike these and so many others, like these are plastic, hard, shitty brushes. These are actually very soft, movable, fluffy brushes that, in my opinion, blend very well. Now, are they these amazing, high quality, can't even believe it, great brushes? No. I also never said they were. What I said they were was free brushes, and all you had to pay for was shipping. So I'm not sure what quality people were expecting when they paid $10 for 10 brushes, and I'm genuinely sorry if anybody got their product and was disappointed in the product. But I would also add, manage your expectations a little bit.
And I also believe it's really, really illegal to advertise a product of $100 in value, but you're actually selling it, but it's only worth like $1 in value. Essentially taking advantage of people who believe in your product only to be not delivering the high quality that these brushes are claimed to be. It's just overall scummy. Sure, she apologized, but she also blamed her fans for like, you should know better. But Gabbie, you should know better not to promote something and do a little bit more digging into something before you promote it to thousands and thousands of people. Everybody makes mistakes like that. It happens. Sometimes you promote a product and it doesn't always go well. But there's a lot of info out on Kenza Cosmetics even before you did this on why it's a really sketchy company to work for, and that's why you started getting called a scam artist. And people didn't like you blaming your fans for things that you promoted and they trusted you. Do you understand? It's not, this is such a simple, straightforward thing, but for her, she makes everything more complicated than it needs to be. So the next big drama involving Gabbie actually was with Trisha Paytas. Now, I'm sure many of you guys know the context of this story.
I am making this video today for one reason and one reason only, is because I want this drama to stop. This person keeps thinking I am talking shit about them. I get constant texts. I've met this person on 2 occasions. On 2 occasions I met this person. One time when she asked to come to my birthday party and I said yes. I talked to her for 2 seconds at my birthday party. And actually I think that's the only time I ever met her. Oh, and at Joey Graceffa's Secret Santa party last year. Those are the only 2 times I've met this YouTuber. Her name is Gabbie Hanna, and look, here's the thing. First and foremost, yes, she's a freaking drama queen. I'm a freaking drama queen. So I'm gonna just put this out there and tell her my issues with her, because I keep texting her telling me to leave me alone, that I literally never think about her, and she literally responded, you talk about me all the time. I don't think about her ever. When her name gets brought up, like it did this past week with a friend of mine, a mutual friend that asked about her, I literally just said, this is the story, and I'm gonna tell you guys the story once and for all. I have one issue with Gabbie Hanna. I like her videos, I like her music. I've sang her songs on my Instagram story. She seems fine. I actually don't even know the girl. I don't know her. I've met her on 2 occasions for seconds. Like I've talked to her for seconds. She's reached out to me a bunch of times. She's tried to be my friend, like even during my breakdown this year, she goes, I've tried to reach out to you. So I finally had to be honest with her. I told her what I tell everybody because it's one of the scummiest, lowest things that has ever happened to me, and she's never once apologized. She thinks it's totally fine. And I'll read you the text of what she said now, again, saying like, you have issues if you think me concerned about a friend's health is like low. No, it's low, it's scummy. I don't know this girl, and I'm so sick of her sending me pages of text being like, why do you constantly talk shit about me? But then sometimes she like goes off. She thinks, one time she texted me because she thought I was throwing shade at her through a video because I said someone asked for my address and I'm not friends with them, and it wasn't it wasn't her that I was talking about. It was like someone else that I didn't know. But she like thinks everything is about her. Everything's about her. Well, Gabbie, no. This is about you, so there you go. You want the attention. You think I only talk about you and everything's about you. This is a story that happened years ago, and I'm going to tell it now because this is my only issue with Gabbie Hanna. This is the only thing I've ever said to people. I've said it to people about her when they bring her up, and I said, this is why I don't trust Gabbie Hanna. That's it. This is it. This is it for me. Like I said, no personal, nothing against her. This is not cool because this is one thing I don't do. This is one thing I don't do. I don't lie on people's sexual health. Okay, so she told him, okay. When me and Jason started hooking up in 2017, I did a video called like YouTubers I've hooked up with. She, by the clues, guessed that I was hooking up with Jason. I was. She texted Jason and she told Jason, or I guess, I don't know if she texted him or told him in person, but basically she told him, hey, be careful, Trish has herpes and you're sleeping with her and blah, blah, blah. Gabbie, have we slept together? Did I show you my STD results? Are you my doctor? Did you swab my vagina? In what world is it okay? And she keeps telling me a close friend of yours told me. Tell me who? Bitch, tell me who. What close friend? I don't think I have any close friends. Last I checked, I have no friends. I'm that friendless bitch on YouTube. And I guess I keep making videos like this. I'll continue to be a friendless bitch. And that's just what it is. I don't care, but I don't like people doing this. I don't like people lying on me. I don't like people starting drama. Like, you guys do not believe the day I had today. I literally asked her so many times to leave me alone. She is so, like wouldn't. She goes, if you think it's low to tell people you heard about an incurable disease, KK, you have an issue for real. Yes, because an incurable disease that I don't have, that you don't know I have, that you have no right to tell someone I have. Even if you fucking heard I was HIV positive, you have no right to do that. You don't know what me and Jason talk about, my sexual history. Like, what the fuck? And she never once apologized. She goes, well, I'm just looking out for a concerned friend. She sent me messages on messages, like, so much. She goes, I gotta ask this because enough is enough. Why do you talk shit people? I don't like you. I literally never show you anything except love and kindness and acceptance. Always in person, through text and DM. I've always supported, reached out, offered an ear. So why do you feel the need to constantly spread lies about me and tell people I don't like you? It was so beyond me. Never say you don't like me. I say the truth. And I DM'd all this to Gabbie like about 6 months ago, and she goes, yeah, I said that. Like, I'm looking out for a friend. And I was like, okay, girl, like, if that's how you see it, cool. Like, we have whatever. That's all. This is the only thing I've ever said to people, and I'm saying it in public so she hears it. This is my only issue. This is the only thing I've ever said. Anyone who I've ever talked to this about, maybe 3 people in my entire life who bring up Gabbie because they have their own issues with Gabbie and have played me their own audio messages of Gabbie cursing people out because they don't have the right food or whatever the case is. Like, I lose a lot of people in my life, but I own up to my shit. I apologize. I own up to it. I'm like, yes, I'm crazy. This happened. Like, oh my gosh, I'm stupid. Whatever the case is. I own up to it. To her to be like, I don't know why people don't like me. Like, I don't understand. And she even said that in this one. She goes, I'm so good to people and I'm tired of being shitted on. I was like, you're not. You're lying about someone you don't even know. We don't even know each other. And at this time when she told Jason, we weren't even dating. So this was before the Christmas party. So I met her one time for 2 seconds at my birthday party. What? There's a reason that group and a lot of other groups don't talk to her anymore. That's all I'm going to say on that. That is all I'm gonna say. I have never been more upset. My friend just got here from Boston and I was like boiling on the couch. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I just have to put this out here because I have never had someone like lie on me. Lie on yourself, like do your own drama, you know, like say people scratch you over a phone, whatever the case is. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on me. Because when I said, because she asked me, why don't you reach out to me? And I said, if I'm being honest with you, you told Jason I had herpes, and that because we had sex, he had herpes. That is the reason I don't respond way before we even started dating. I don't have herpes. If I did, I'd be an open book about it. And if I did, it's also no one's business but mine and my partner's. She goes, first of all, I didn't tell Jason you had herpes. I told him a very close friend to you told me this. So she heard it from a friend. Okay. And I told him to make sure he's safe. This is not, Gabbie, this is not your issue. Jason is a 45-year-old man. I'm a 30-year-old woman. We are having sex. You do not know the conditions of any. You don't know Jason's sexual health. You don't know my sexual health. This is why people don't mess with you, Gabbie. I know why people don't mess with me. This is your reality call for people, why people don't mess with you.
But Gabbie went on Instagram to paint a situation, asking her audience, did she do the right thing? Did she do something wrong? Let's make an Instagram poll on what's right and what's wrong so you can validate how I feel about the situation.
I have a genuine question that I want to ask the general public. If somebody tells you that somebody has an STD, an incurable STD, it comes from a close friend of theirs, a source, and then you find out that a friend of yours is sleeping with them, is it wrong of you to say, hey, just so you know, I've heard this, don't know if it's true, but this person told me, talk to them about it, ask about it. Is that I'm just genuinely curious. This isn't like going around telling everybody, hey, I heard this person has an STD. This is, you know, somebody you care about is sleeping with them and you say, did they talk to you about this? Don't know if it's true. This is what I heard. Just be careful. Check it out. Here's where I'm coming from. If I was sleeping with somebody and one of my friends knew from a close source of that person that they had an incurable STD and they had that information and weren't like, hey, just be careful, check it out, talk to them about it, I'd be livid. Another question. Would you consider that like gossip and rumors to talk to the one person who it's about and be like, hey, check it out, ask them about it, have an adult conversation about it? Is that gossip or is that just like being a friend? All I'm saying is I've been being painted as a villain for a year, 2 years, I don't know how long, because I knew somebody was sleeping with someone who I wasn't close with her. I was close with him, and I heard that she had an incurable STD. He told me he slept with her. I literally said, hey, this person I've heard has this incurable STD, and if you're going to continue sleeping with her, ask her about it. Don't know if it's true. A close friend of hers told me. That's all I know. Be careful. Keep an eye out. Use protection. And I'm a bad person because
if you don't know something in regards to somebody having something like this, then don't even say it if you don't know. If you just hear something in passing and then you pass it on to somebody else, that's what creates gossip. And then it just gets really messy. And especially, look, you don't have to be a fan of Trisha to acknowledge that this is really screwed up what Gabbie did here. Going around and telling somebody, hey, this person, or I heard this person has a you know what, that would hurt anybody because that also affects their personal life, okay? That is a personal thing to discuss and much less spread info about whether it's true or not. In fact, I remember when I heard about this, I actually thought it was true just because it became such a big issue and so many people were talking about it because this started, the core of where this started was from Gabbie herself, it seems. And you're gonna notice through the rest of this video when we deal with Jessi and even Rachel Oates and other people that Gabbie has been involved with is this is a really common behavioral trend that she does here. Everybody seems to have a problem with Gabbie Hanna, and I believe that when you have this many people stacking up all against you, like just all these big other names all stacking up against you, there has to be some merit and truth to something that they're saying about the type of person that Gabbie is. And well, Gabbie's a sneaky one.
No matter what I do, I'm always a bad person. Don't talk about anybody, don't do it. Like I'm in my house, living my life, but I snapped today because I'm so sick of it. Sorry to like rant about this. I usually try to keep shit like this like pretty private. It's just I'm at a place in my life where I'm so happy. Like I have great people in my life, like my friendships, my love life, like my house, my career, like everything's great. And I'm so secure in myself and who I am at this point that I'm so done with bullshit. And I'm so sick of like the shit I hear that I've said or done like coming back to me and just like hearing the things that like people make up. Dude, sorry for snapping, y'all. At the end of the day, this is what I'm sick of. I am somebody who, not to toot my own horn, but beep the beep. I am so kind to people in my life.
You can't say, excuse me, not the toot my own horn, but I am the kindest, most loving, accepting, non-bully on YouTube that there is. I am just so loving towards everybody. I'm such a good person. Typically, if that is true, you don't have to brag about it. Not to draw on any too big of similarities, but it does kind of remind me of that. I am the most truthful person. I am so kind. I'm such a good person. I am a fact machine. I am nothing but truth. People see genuineness. People can see through the fake facade. And if you're trying to paint your image as this kind person, all somebody has to do, Gabbie, is just take a look at the things that you have said to multiple other YouTubers, the things that you've done in multitudes against other people, which we're going to even demonstrate even more that you are not a kind person, that you are a bully. The same, you accuse other people of bullying you, but you bully other people. It's this fire for fire mentality, which I don't quite understand with many YouTubers. Like, if you fight fire with fire, both people are gonna get burned, and it solves nothing. You're stooping to the same level. But I see more of you, Gabbie, than anybody else who's actively involved. I think we all can agree that what Gabbie has done here with, spreading something's false about Trisha Paytas is not okay. It's not cool.
I will reach out to you if you're hurting, whether you're awful to me, if I hear all the terrible things you say about me, if you've killed my pet. If I see you're having a hard time, I will reach out to you and I will say, I'm here for you. If you need to talk, I understand. Let me listen. And that's always been who I've been since the beginning of fucking time until now. And I'm so sick of being that person to everybody all the time and then hearing the shit come back to me that comes back to me. And I'm just done. Like, this one pushed me over the edge because it was just like, I could not be kinder to this person to be treated like this. Another thing that I'm realizing I've kind of like grown past and grown out of, because I'm sitting here bedridden doing some reflecting, waiting for a hottie to come over with my leg up because it's broken. When people, like, you're having an adult conversation with them and then they just like start insulting you and they'll say, this is why nobody likes you, and it's like, what do you want me to say to that? Like, I know I have friends. I know, like, people like me. You know what I mean? And then, like, what did you think? It's just so desperate and, like, a last, like, grab at, like, trying to hurt somebody. And that's what I think it really comes down to, is I never would try to hurt somebody. I would never try to say something to somebody to hurt their feelings. I would never go out of my way to, like, hurt somebody, you know what I mean? And when somebody's doing that, you just have to step back and be like, okay, this person is obviously hurting, because you have to be hurt to hurt people. Like, happy people don't hurt others or try to hurt others. So that's my lesson, is if anybody's ever just like coming at you, trying to say, like, insult you and make you feel some type of way, you already win, because that person is not happy. And just be happy.
Now, Gabbie then proceeded to post this on her Instagram story along with all that stuff that you just watched. And I just find this text post to be somewhat contradictory for the obvious reasons. Because this was a big rant that she did. Like, this was a huge subject on YouTube for quite a while. This is where actual texts are shown between Trisha and Gabbie themselves, going into more detail. And she says, Gabbie says in response, first of all, I didn't tell so-and-so you had this. I told him a very close person to you told me you did, and I told him to make sure he's safe, which is what a good friend would do. And that's just as strange to me, because she's like, I didn't tell him you had this. I told him that I heard that you had this. I don't really see much of a difference between those two things, and that's just a really weird thing to focus on in regards to semantics. Telling somebody that this person, I think, may have this versus they do have this, it's really there's no difference between those two things for me. It just shouldn't be said at all, especially if you don't know. If you don't know, why are you saying it, right? Like, that's how I view this situation. And this text response from Gabbie is just really telling. It's like, so yeah, I told him to be careful and have safe, you know what? Maybe next time examine who you're trusting your secrets with. See, this is the type of, like, way that she deals with things. And maybe examine who you're trusting. Like, that's so condescending. I never started any rumors about you. I never said I never said it to anyone but him. When he told me that you guys had, you know what, I really do feel for you and will always be an ear if you need someone. I just don't hold grudges. Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's very clearly not the case. Gabbie does hold grudges.
At the end of the day, here I am at my house, not saying anybody's names, not trying to get in anybody's business, but there's also somebody else going on the 500th rant for the month. Everything on YouTube is fake and lies, and that's why I don't get like upset about it, and why you also don't see me with YouTubers, because it all just turns into fake lies and dumb shit.
Apologize, move on, admit fault, and that's all you can just be. You can just work on trying to be a better person. But the rest of this video, you're gonna see that the pattern of behavior that's been exhibiting for years has been ongoing. This series on my channel, The X-Files, is not meant to cancel people. This is not a cancellation video. I don't like cancel culture. I hate it. But one of the things I do in this series is I take people who, over years and years and years, haven't progressed, haven't changed, haven't had an outlook. Everything's the same with them. That's why I make this series that I do, is because I'm of the belief that every single person, for the most part, can grow and progress and become a better person. I'm of that belief. And in particular cases, people like Gabbie, Repzion, Momokun, James Soroka, just like the list goes on. These are people that have had years of behavior documented that just continues. As of I'm making this video right now, still ongoing, you know? And that's why I make this series. It's not to cancel anybody. It's to point out that there's problems with this creator who refuses to acknowledge or do anything about the problems that they are creating for themselves and how they deal with problems. Next up, Gabbie started receiving a lot of eyes when she went to Twitter and YouTube and several live streams make a conspiracy theory that YouTube was shadow banning her, that her entire YouTube channel was blacklisted, she wasn't bringing in enough views, YouTube has it out for her, she's never been on the trending page, yada yada yada. And as always, things are not always how Gabbie tries to explain them.
Like, I'm not crazy. Sorry, I'm like feeling a lot of weird emotions and anxiety and trying to like level myself out before I start like really talking. I'm not going to show what I have right now because I don't want to tip my hand, because I'm collecting all of the data and the evidence, of course. And I have a team of people working on this. Like, this is a big girl problem. Like, this is an internet drama. But I'm really brokenhearted because when I saw with my own eyes that my music videos, not just Glass House and Bad Karma specifically, that I can prove right now, were completely shadow banned and like hidden from my audience.
This is Gabbie's conspiracy theory on YouTube. She uses the term shadow banned quite frequently, convinced that YouTube has shadow banned her. Now, if you know what shadow banning is, well, yes, YouTube does do that. They can do that. But Gabbie, you're not shadow banned. All you have to do is a deep dive into your social blade, and your views have been declining. Your channel growth has been declining. It's a normal part of YouTube. In fact, I'm looking at your music right now, and you can see from 3 years ago, your music videos got more views, and then as time went on to 3 year to 2 year to 1 year to 11 months to 6 months, the millions of views that you would get on these videos, at least from 3 years ago, has been declining. This is also reflected in your social blade. And what a lot of people don't take in consideration, especially if you do YouTube, is that when you make a channel transitional change, you try to focus on one specific thing, such as producing music all of the time. It doesn't matter if 5 years ago you were bringing in millions of views, channels die off. And one of the great examples I can use on this is one of my favorite creators back in the day was Tyler Oakley. Sexy, sexy man, by the way. And he has over 7 million subscribers. His channel was popping back 3, 4, 5 years ago. But now you look at his channel, he gets roughly between 30 to maybe, if he's lucky on a good day, 100,000 views, despite him having over 7 million subscribers. So why is that? Let me ask you guys, my audience, the question: why is somebody with 7 million subscribers only getting less than 10% of the fraction of what their channel actually has? Well, there's an answer to this. Channels fade out, subscribers don't come back, but most of all, the content doesn't, and Gabbie, this may hurt you, does not change. It doesn't grow. It doesn't adapt. And that is one of the key factors to a YouTube channel. If you look into the history of Gabbie Hanna's channel, you'll find out that the majority of her audience was significantly younger. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you have a younger audience, and years, 4 or 5 years go by, it's 2021 now, not 2016, 2017, viewers grow up. And when they grow up, a lot of them don't come back to the channels that they watched when they were a teenager. Or even if you have younger people, kids don't come up when they hit 18 in their adulthood. They typically just kind of don't come back to the channel that they grew up on. It's a really common thing Now, part of the thing of being a YouTuber is that your channel and your videos have to adapt. They cannot remain stagnant. You have to grow with your audience. You have to keep people as you're growing up. And I think I'm a great example of this. Well, my channel hasn't had significant growth in over a year. What I can say is that the majority of people who watch me have watched me over to 5 to 7 to 10 plus years. I get comments all the time saying people that they've watched me when they were a teenager, when I was a teenager on YouTube at 15. I'm turning 30 at the end of the year, and a lot of those people grew up with me. And if you know my origin, I'm not gonna go into that, but I was a religious Christian kid. I converted out and all that stuff, and people followed me on my journey. My content has went through like 6, 8 different transitional stages, and I've adapted and progressed it, and it's grown. You can see that growth. And sadly for you, Gabbie, and I don't mean this as a mean thing, there's really no substance to your channel. Your music is really, really good. I'll give you that. I like your music. It's really well made, it's well done. But if that's what you want to focus on, your main source of income is investing thousands of dollars into a music career, and you can see just through looking through analytics, and you can see from 3 years ago up until now that views have been declining on your music videos, maybe don't do music anymore. If that's your passion, keep doing it. But then if you're gonna complain about it and get upset that you're not bringing in the views that you think you deserve or that you are entitled to, then that creates a whole nother problem.
And like, I was looking at the numbers on Bad Karma. Like, obviously it's an ego hit, right? And I'm trying to figure out like what went wrong. Like, my music always does the best, and this is a great video. Like, this is beautiful. It's well done. I know the song is good. The album was #1 on iTunes. It charted on 3 different charts on Billboard. It's playlisted on Spotify and Apple Music. It's picked up by blogs, and like people are talking about it. Like, it's successful in the music world. But YouTube, my own platform, why are the views so low? Even from hate, like where are the videos? Like, a lot of times people would even come in just to hate and leave, and like I wasn't experiencing that. It's like the views are low, and like you just tell yourself like, okay, it just didn't hit because people don't care about me anymore. And I told myself that over and over and over. I kept telling myself, I guess people just don't like me.
So in your head, you not getting 1 million views on a music video means that people don't like you. Your most recent music video has over 700,000. Any person would be happy and grateful just to be able to hit that many views on a video. Do you know how many people that is? 700,000 people clicking on a video and watching it? This level of entitlement is insane, but it doesn't stop there. She tweets, so, #1 on iTunes, Billboard charts, Spotify, Apple Music, Twitter, trended nationally 5 times in 1 month, YouTube, zip. Gabbie, that's cool. You have these amazing accomplishments, and yet you're still complaining, despite you meeting, you're on #1s on iTunes pop album, complaining and feeling entitled because your video didn't hit 1 million views on YouTube. What? These numbers don't add up. I'd love to pretend the love for my music is just overwhelming, but this video should have a minimum of 1 million views with this type of engagement. 360,000 views, 51,000 likes, 9.6 thousand comments. Now it has 2.1 million views. Then you get on camera again and you complain about how you haven't been on the top trending page on YouTube.
Like, I put out my music video and YouTube right away is like, okay, trend it. This is one of our creators, let's support her. And then they never trended my music videos again, or any of my videos.
And this really annoys me. Like, you ask yourself, do people not like me? I'm starting to see why people don't like you, because this type of entitlement is not something that a YouTuber should have. Not only that, is that you're lying to people saying, I've never been on the trending page, or I've only been on the trending page once, when there's actual evidence out there that shows that you've been on the trending page over 4 times. I've never been on the trending page. Most people that I watch have never been on the trending page. And you're mad and complaining about a lack of views and not being on the trending page because of your music? Like, YouTube owes you this? Weren't you also in YouTube Rewind, something that that's a huge, big deal on YouTube, and yet here you are. It's my views are down, my subscribers, engagement doesn't make sense. Gee willikers, Gabbie. YouTube does not owe you a damn thing, Gabbie. I am happy if I get 50,000 views. You know what it's like for me? I can upload a video on Onision and make it easily 300,000, but then I make a video where I made a long video and put way more work into it, and that video gets maybe 50 to maybe, if I'm lucky, 100,000 views. Yet, you know what? I can talk about Onision, bring an easy 200,000 views, woohoo! But you know, the reality of the situation is I don't care about views. I genuinely don't. You know how I know is because I know that if a video gets clicked on 1,000 times, 1,000 people watch it, that's 1,000 people. And each and every one of those individuals, regardless of whether it's negative or positive, I'm grateful for it. Genuinely, authentically, I'm happy if just 1,000 people click on something. I may have 700,000 subscribers, but 1,000 people, that's still a lot of people when I think about that. Maybe it's just the way that I grew up, you know? I didn't have the most lavish, you know, childhood. I wore 80s clothes, hand-me-down clothes in early 2000s. My parents didn't spend the money, so I wore 80s clothes in 2000 and was embarrassed all the time. Like, I was always taught to be grateful for what I had, even if it wasn't significant. And that's something that I try to live by all of the time. So I would recommend, Gabbie, instead of being an entitled, typical influencer or YouTuber, tone down on the level of entitledness.
And like, that feeling of putting like your time and tens of thousands of dollars and months and passion and work and excitement into something and telling yourself like this is going to be like a turnaround for me. Like the pain you feel when that thing like fails just as like a creator and an artist is like an ego hit, and like you get your hopes crushed and like your expectations crushed, and that's one thing. When you find that your platform that you've I'm like, oh, like the platform that you've been so loyal to and dedicated to is like actively trying to hurt you. And like, I've always maintained it could be an accident, right? It could be a glitch. It could be a glitch. Like it could not be intentional. I've said that. But the problem is I've so many times reached out and like begged and said, please, like, and then the response being like, you're imagining things. And then to see it with my own eyes that I'm not imagining and that it's so real and valid. And that like, when I told them that I was literally on the brink of suicide from what was happening to me because like of the crazy making behavior of like, am I imagining things? And like,
I'm not gonna sit here and tell people what they shouldn't and should not think not alive thoughts. But I'm gonna say it for the record that if you base your value, you base your self-worth, and you base you living based upon the amount of views you get, or the amount of channel growth that you get, or the lack of views that you bring in, your priorities in life are drastically skewed. And in a weird way, I find it a bit insulting that not wanting to live is a result of not bringing in the amount of views on a music video or feeling like you've been shadow banned.
Like the feeling of when you look at butterflies or like any of my music videos and you see those millions and millions of views, right? And then it's like, okay, well, people my music. And then when you put up a video being like, this is my dream, and like, I need to escape this toxic cycle, I need to get out of this, and like, music is my way and my passion and the one thing I care about. And like, you're used to your shit performing a certain way, and then it does it so drastically, like from 11 million views, 7 million views, like my music videos all have like millions and millions of views, right? And then Bad Karma, this one that I was like, holy shit, like this is my gem. Like I know Bad Karma's good. The charts know Bad Karma's good. The Apple Music and Spotify Music playlisting knows this song is good, right? And then you see it has 700,000 views in a month. And you're like, oh my God, people hate me. People really think I'm a apologist. People really think that I exploited a teenager. People really think I'm a scam artist. People really think that I'm all of these things. And you're like, you want to kill yourself because there's no escape. It's like, I can't escape these rumors, and like the one thing I love, like the one thing that like I thought was going to save me, my one escape, that one thing is being taken from me. And that's what I thought. Because when I saw that it was like doing so poorly and that the engagement was so bad, like, you tell yourself it's because nobody likes me and my music is terrible and I have no future. And the reason I'm so emotional right now is because, like, I feel like I'm getting my dream back. I feel like I'm getting my future back. I feel like for the first time in a long time, I'm not insane.
So from this point on, this video is only going to get exponentially worse in terms of Gabbie Hanna's behavior and the pattern that she has set with every single person that she's been involved with that has disassociated with her. There is a reason why. We have Jessi Smiles, Alex James, and Jen Dent. Two of these people Gabbie Hanna lived with. Have to keep that in mind because they have first-hand experience with her and how she operates, how she behaves, but most of all, what she tries to do to paint other people as bad, terrible, crazy, psychotic, whatever it be, even though she's the one who's doing horrible things behind the scenes. Gabbie points the finger at everybody else. And if there's one thing you can take away from this video, okay, is Gabbie Hanna is a master at projection. I don't think I've ever even seen anybody who projects as much as she does. She accuses tons of other creators of horrendous things. She even creates lies out of nothing just to spew a narrative that isn't true. And this is established in Jessi Smiles' response video, which is called Gabbie Hanna Needs to Be Stopped. And boy, I believe every single part of this video simply because of the pattern behavior you're gonna see later on in this video that just keeps on happening over and over and over and over and over again with other creators. Harassment of other people, trying to go behind the scenes, spread misinformation, trying to attack people, trying to say horrible things about people. They don't want to be friends with her, they don't want any association with her anymore. It's crazy. Gabbie Hanna is unhinged, and her response to not only Jessi, her response not only to Alex James, but her response especially to Jen Dent says everything that you need to know about the type of person Gabbie is.
This girl, her name is Deanna. She tweeted, I think a lot of people forget or don't know that Gabbie Hanna chose a admitted and signed a confession to the cops over her best friend who was the victim, and she didn't do it privately but publicly. That's always bothered me. So Gabbie saw Deanna's tweet and she didn't like it. She felt strongly enough that she felt she needed to message Deanna, and that's why I'm here today, to share those messages with you. The one that started the conversation. She says, I'm genuinely trying not to engage with this stuff because it's gossip, but this is one that truly confuses me because I don't understand why anyone believes it. If I collabed with my friend's ex, especially publicly, where is it? Where is any photo, any video? It doesn't exist because it didn't happen. That man is not my friend, has never been my friend. I think I tweeted at him one time before I ever even met Jessi, and that's it. So how this story is a thing, I'll never understand, but I want. Then it starts. Gabbie says, here's a long story short, and she starts talking about me. Now notice how the girl was not talking about me at all. Yes, it has to do with the man who and her supporting him, but Gabbie just jumps like straight into, okay, it's time to discredit Jessi. It's time to make Jessi look like a bad guy so that I can get this girl to realize that Jessi's a liar, that Jessi's crazy, and that I'm right. So it starts here. Jessi and I weren't friends when the allegations went down. We became friends after. Once we were friends, I literally never talked to or collabed with Curtis. For reasons that don't matter in my opinion, and to not spread hate or rumors, Jessi and I had a falling out and I had to make a choice to stop engaging with it. Since then, her and Jen started a hate campaign about me, saying that I ditched her to collab with her because he had more followers. I have never said that in my life, Gabbie. I have never in my life said that you left me to collab with Curtis because he had more followers. I'm just gonna bring this up really quick because I feel like it's a relevant thing. Gabbie has and always will paint me as someone who is crazy. I am the liar. I am the attention wanter. Some of you know and some of you don't know that me and Gabbie have done story times on each other. We have not said each other's name. We've tried to cover it up by being like, you'll never guess who this person is. But point is, we've done stories on each other. And I just want to compare to you the beginning of her videos and how she describes me versus the beginning of my videos about her and how I describe her. I just want to put those two and two together so you can see what she wants people to feel about me, what she's always. This is years ago that she posted, 2 years ago she posted the story time. She's always wanted people to see me like this. And I'll let you see how we talk about each other. Here it is.
I also want to say that I haven't been friends with this person for years. This happened so far in the past and I have no bad blood with this person whatsoever. I wish her nothing but the best. And from what I see, she's having a great life and she's doing her thing and she's very happy and I am very happy for her. I don't really know her anymore, but I'm sure she's grown up a ton and so have I. Now, I have admitted in the past that I myself have had some crazy bitch moments, but there is a huge
astronomical difference between having crazy bitch moments and being a crazy bitch. Honestly, looking back at my time with this person, I do look at it with fondness because we did have a lot of fun together and she did mean a lot to me at the time. But sometimes it's hard to believe now, here where I am in my life, that I ever put up with this type of behavior, the amount of stories that I have. But that's kind of my issue that I learned about myself, thanks to a year of therapy, is I seek out like emotionally unstable, neurotic people and I try to fix them. Even if I'm not trying to fix them, it's like I feel like I need to support them and be there for them. So like I said, I have a lot of stories about this friend in particular, but I think that this is the first one where I was like, oh, you're psychotic.
And this is how I introduced the situation about her. And I saw an email that apparently was sent to me while I did not have access, and it was from someone that I used to be friends with way back in the day. Well, I mean, I guess not way back in the day, but pretty back in the day. I wasn't friends with them when I was like in kindergarten, but you get the picture. So I read this email, and in this email, this person mentioned this thing that I'm about to tell you guys about. And they mentioned it in a way that made it seem like they were still like really angry about it. And I was just thinking to myself, like, what the f are they talking about? I'm gonna tell you how this situation happened, obviously through my perspective. I can't tell you how they saw it. And I want you guys to be honest with me. Tell me if I'm in the wrong here. Maybe I just don't understand or don't see why I was wrong in this situation, but I need you guys to tell. Did this whole act like how she said in those messages, I love my life, all of that in her Instagram stories. I'm gonna put a little clip here because, wow.
No matter what I do, I'm always a bad person, and this is why. This is why I have 3 amazing friends that I hang out with. Don't talk about anybody, don't do it. Like I'm in my house, living my life. I'm at a place in my life where I'm so happy. Like I have great people in my life, like my friendships, my love life, like my house, my career, like everything's great. And I'm so secure in myself and who I am at this point that I'm so done with bullshit. And I'm so sick of like the shit I hear that I've said or done, like coming back to me, and just like hearing the things that like people make up. I just, dude, I am somebody who, not to toot my own horn, but beep the beep. I am so kind to people in my life.
And to me, it's so insane because just in October of 2019, she posted this tweet that says, people with good intentions don't need to remind you all the time they have good intentions. People with good hearts don't need to remind you they have good hearts. Honest people don't need to convince you they're honest. The loudest people usually have the most to hide. This was the part where I was like, no. That's it. The girl did not ask for this. This was not something that she was like, hey, so provide me with more information on what Jessi's like. But Gabbie started sending my private text messages with her to this fan. And she says, like the girl had tried to bring me down so many times, and in the meantime, look. And she sends a message, which I'm not even gonna read, I'm gonna put it on screen, but it's so dumb because it's just me talking to her. Like it's just me messaging her. So I guess her point of trying to show this is being like, you see, like Jessi's mad now and she has no right to be because we spoke months ago. And then she says, yeah, she's so friendly to me, pretends to be sorry and smiles in my face, then does shit like this when I'm in trouble. You're implying something, like when you're saying then does shit like this. What did I do? I put one cryptic tweet that I deleted hours later that I didn't even mention you or at you or anything. What did I do? She says she knows she's a liar is the thing. She's called me so many times saying she's been on meds and is better now and was sorry for everything, then blocks me out of nowhere and it starts all over. This is the most disgusting shit. Like, I swear to you, I cannot believe that she said this. Number one, I have never called Gabbie Hanna and said, hi, I'm on medication. I'm so sorry for everything. I realized I was wrong. You know, you're always talking about mental health and therapy and, you know, how you've gone through your journey with that. Like, it's so weird to me that you would bring up someone else's medication that they talk to you about in private, which, no, I'm not ashamed of it.
Like, this is insane to me, and Jessi's right. Gabbie just goes on this rant to a random fan, sending private text messages and information that really that random people shouldn't know on the internet. Whether somebody takes meds or not, there's no shame in medication. What it seems is like Gabbie's doing this really to try to discredit Jessi, and she'll say and use anything, even if it's really personal stuff that shouldn't be public knowledge, to other random people, strangers on the internet. You know what? There's no moral card with Gabbie Hanna. Let's just run with it, because you know what? That's what spins the most best narrative in her opinion. It's such a scummy thing to do. But what's even more scummy is the fact that Gabbie Hanna also started spreading a horrendous, terrible accusation against Jen Dent. Now, Jen Dent actually made her own video, which is linked down below in the description if you're interested in watching it in full. But I reached out to Jessi because I just wanted to confirm that this tweet this text message was real, and it absolutely was. And this just says everything to me, because Gabbie Hanna started spreading this rumor that Jen Dent hurt a child. Dude, Jessi, did you see what Jen did to that girl? It's It's dark. Did you see the evidence though? Jessi, did you see the evidence? Did you see that evidence? So this is a public service announcement right here, right now, Gabbie Hanna. If you have evidence that a child has been harmed, where is it? Because you know what? Morally, I couldn't sit, if I knew that a child was harmed in this way that you are accusing and spreading a rumor of somebody else, which is false, by the way, but if I knew and I had evidence of this, I would go to the police. I would do everything in my power to bring awareness that this person did this horrendous thing. But rather, you'd rather go behind the scenes and spread a narrative that Jen Dent hurt a girl in one of the most horrific type of accusations that you can accuse anyone of. Now, Jen has responded to this. Jen has spoken about this on her TikToks, but not only that, on her YouTube channel. And it is absolutely repulsive that you would say something like this, Gabbie. Someone someplace started this rumor, Gabbie. Now, what I did find is this particular tweet by a now private Twitter account that emphasizes, I'm doing the same thing that she does. She throws around accusations about Gabbie so she can have a taste of her own medicine. Plus, if this is true, it needs to spread like wildfire. Somewhere, someplace, this rumor was started. Finding the source of where things start sometimes can be a bit tricky. But what I do know is that Gabbie has enforced this narrative, enforced this rumor, enforced this gossip with no substantiated evidence, and even trying to get Jessi to, I don't know, believe it or whatever. It's just, this isn't normal. And Gabbie, if you have fans like this, you're not accountable for what your fans do, but I found out that you had been interacting with this person quite frequently. I looked up this person's Twitter handle and I found that you had been interacting with them quite frequently back in October of 2020. But you know what Gabbie did do? She made a weird Patreon post on Jen Dent. This is really, really bizarre and creepy. This is one of Gabbie's Patreon posts, which I'm not even going to read this whole thing. It is just really, really eerie. Second, I'm aware of the allegations against Jen Dent. I don't know who made the allegation. Just reading this Patreon post hidden behind a paywall just really is strange to me. So you don't even know if the allegation is true or not, but you're literally texting Jessi saying, did you see this evidence? It's super, super dark. But in your text, you imply that she did this act on a child. And there's absolutely no substantiated evidence of this. There's no one has come forward. Why would you, Gabbie, try to spread this false narrative about Jen Dent? Because Jessi and her made a hate campaign against you? At this rate, I'm curious on what you're gonna accuse me of, Gabbie. If you're willing to go this far out and claim, have you seen the evidence when there is no evidence, and make false accusations against people with no evidence to back up the claim, no wonder nobody in LA wants to associate with you publicly. No wonder nobody wants to be your friend. No wonder you have another ex-friend, you know, Alex James, who spoke about his experience with you when you went on a podcast and badmouthed him. For what reason? Why? Why do you have something negative or false to say about every single person in your life that doesn't want to be associated with you anymore? Why, Gabbie? Can you answer me that question?
Gabbie, if you want to talk about that night, because I'm assuming that's why you have now 4.5 years later publicly defaced me as a bad person, which we will get into in this video. If that's why I'm a bad person, we can talk about it like a civilized person. Because the last time you tried to talk about it, which was at this point like 3.5 years ago, I had to block you because you went all Mavis Beacon. Yo, Gabbie sits on her computer, and what she tries to do is overtalk you through text. Like, and I'm like, yeah. Block. Bye. No, but you are unblocked now. Okay. But what you're not gonna do is sit back and portray anybody who was in my life before and we're no longer hanging out, they're the bad person. And even if that person is the bad person, you can't just leave it between you and that person. You now have to go around and try to pin people against that bad person. And honey, I have heard, the trash you have talked about me over the years. I'm talking about, trash. This video.
In like a 24-hour whim. Like it was just like, what? Yeah, my friend at the time, he texted me, he was like, move to LA. And I was like, yeah, like I need to figure out like my car, because I had like a really shitty Buick Century. I was like, I just need to figure out a lot of stuff. And he was like, oh, whatever. And then he calls me back 30 minutes later and he goes, I just booked a flight to Pittsburgh. I'm going to be there in the morning. Pack your car, we're driving to LA. You're moving. So I literally just like threw as much as I could in my Buick. The air conditioning didn't work, the radio didn't work, the windows didn't roll down, and drove across the country in my 2000 Buick Century. What? And now I'm here. This is a cool friend and story. Oh, he's actually like a really bad person, though.
Gabbie knew exactly what she was doing, and it was pre-planned. This sounds like a really good friend without skipping a beat. He's a bad person. Like, what? Why would that come to your head to say? Now, let's just talk about how bad of a person I was to Gabbie. Marcus Johns had a list of 20 names that he was going to give to Twitter. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Twitter's the one who owned Vine before Vine even popped off. Anyways, there was a list of 20 names. He met me at this diner in West Hollywood. It's $1 million contract. Each diner would be getting $100,000 a month. It was the beginning of Vine paying their creators. I told Marcus, I said, I am not going to sign this unless you have Gabbie and Brittany Furlan on it. Now, Gabbie, let's be real. The people that was on that list, even following wise, but a constant creative posting on Vine, you were nowhere near that. But you were my friend, okay? And I go hard for my friends. I support my friends, okay? And now also, Gabbie, this is the same bad person, the only person, that publicly defended you through the whole RiceGum roast. I took all them little L's for you, and I didn't care, girl, because you were my friend. I grew hard for my friend. And all of that aside, because this video isn't about me trying to prove, oh, I'm not a bad person. Come on. My problem is that here you are, yet again, talking about, oh, I wish well for my friends. If we were ever friends in the past, blah, 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 blah. But do you hear the things you say about people in your past? And speaking of being a bad person, when you called me that night and pretended to be my hacker, and you made me admit things about myself, that voice, like how, and the things that you were saying, and then you realized how effed up it was, so you called me back and you were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, which I let it go. I was embarrassed. You did that in front of my friends were there. My ex-boyfriend was there. I had it on speakerphone because I literally thought that the person who had hacked me before, like you had said, was watching me this entire time. So you are incredibly rude, but I don't think you realize how rude you are. Like when you came into my house, my friends, you guys know I always had my friends staying with me. When you come into my house and you say in front of them to me, what are you running, an orphanage? Imagine Brittany Furlan came over to my house when you were staying on my couch, and Brittany goes, Alex, what are you running, an orphanage? How would you have felt? Okay, the video that I'm referring to, or going to be referring to in this video, this girl is next level. Okay, and I've known that this girl was next level after she has said all that she has said. Now she's come out and said that she was having a mental breakdown. Okay, I'm going to accept that, right? Because I wasn't there, I'm not her brain, clearly something was going wrong. Y'all know this girl from the internet, okay? I've let this girl live with me. I know this girl on a different level, especially during this time that we're talking about. Right now, I don't know that girl. I don't know who that is sitting back on that camera saying this stuff. I don't know her, literally. You don't know this girl like I do. And obviously not every mental breakdown is the same. I'm not grouping everybody together. If you're claiming that you had a mental breakdown and that's what you do during your mental breakdown, then you need to sweep that information right on back up, put it in the trash where it belongs, and retract your statements. High school effing bullies. I'm one of the high school effing bullies, right? But she's having a mental breakdown, so now you're on eggshells talking to her because anything you're saying to her is just completely being blown out of proportion. Also, one thing in the text messages, I said, girl, I could slap the wig right off of you, which literally, it's a metaphor. I could slap the fakeness right off of you. She said I was threatening her. Now, y'all, we're 2,000 miles away, okay? Just more of the idea of the drama queen that we're dealing with. I mean, that's not even scratching the surface. Let me just get down to this. This girl said, I faked an anxiety attack, watched you have an anxiety attack, did nothing about you having it. Like, it just gives me chills. That's what she intended.
For those of you who have been around for a while, you might remember that I did a video with Alex about a haunted hotel in Miami. The whole trip, I was having really severe anxiety. I had convinced myself that I was haunted, which is obviously really embarrassing to say, but things kept happening that were really scaring me. Like, I was waking up in the middle of the night and my bathtub was full to the top with the jets on. I'm not sleeping tonight. I took a shit. Oh my God, okay, I took a bath, like a bubble bath, and then I turned off the jets and I drained it.
And let me also just take a second to explain this part real quick. Gabbie and I were in separate rooms down the hall from each other. I had no key access to her room unless she let me in. Gabbie is the one who started the whole ghost stuff, not me. She was saying that a ghost filled up her bathtub and turned on the jets after she had already drained it and gotten it out. And I mean, come on, this obviously sounded fake to me when I saw the Snapchats the first time. And considering the fact that there's no way you can miss a whole tub in your hotel room filling up right next to you. But anyway, she was playing it up for her Snapchat and being obviously over the top, as you can see.
Okay, my hotel is haunted. I just turned this off and drained it. And oh, I'm gonna throw up. And my tub that I had drained is filled again and it was bubbling.
You can't see in the Snapchats is how calm Gabbie was while she was uploading them. As soon as she was recording, it was back to acting dramatic and terrified. But it's hard to grasp how obvious it was behind the scenes that it was fake. I thought it was pretty clear to the both of us what we were doing. I would never continue on with a joke if I thought that my friend was having a panic attack because of it. After her Snapchats, we just continued with our trip as normal. And honestly, I didn't even think much more of it until she texted me many months later asking me if it was fake. And even after we talked about if it was fake or not, not, she still left her ghost time story up. It's been years later now, and you've known for 3 or 4 years that this story is not real, yet you still have it on your channel, but you're so traumatized by it, right?
And then we went to his room and he starts screaming and his stuff is broken and there's stuff hanging from the ceiling lights and he's pretending to have a panic attack saying he's super scared, and I had a full-blown meltdown at this point.
I'm literally shaking. I'm fucking...
My brush is on the ground. My razor's broken.
You literally just left your room.
This story was intended to give you chills because she needed something to match what she did to me that night that she prank called me. And y'all, I've admitted to this before. Alex James back in 2014, 15, 16. This happened, I think, in 2014, I believe. Maybe it was 15. But I was about just making content. So was Gabbie. So was 95% of the creators. And we both knew good and well that's what we were doing. Also want to emphasize, I am at the prime of my career, especially on money making, and she's popping right up there with me money making. So we are both two financially stable people staying in a hotel that we are just convinced is haunted, deathly haunted. Do you stay? There is a ghost in the hotel room!
No, guys, literally look at my face, like tears running down my face. I'm so scared. I do not want to be here anymore.
Okay, so just a little update. Alex and I moved towers. This is our evil tower behind us, and now we're in a new one, so hopefully there's not any demons in this one.
And tonight on the stage, we have the Gabbie Show. I actually want to lose my mind. And also something that I want to point out about me during this time, the idea of a ghost, a spirit, I've said this on my channel multiple times. I literally thought when I died, it's literally the straight people go to heaven and the gay people go to hell. Like, that's my thinking during that time. So the thought of an afterlife and a ghost and a spirit was so comical to me. It was all silly to me. But I would never take it to an extent where I'm faking an anxiety attack and I am witnessing someone having an anxiety attack and do nothing about, like, what is the point of making that up? Like, it enrages me, I'm sorry, but like that, because that's something that, like, you can't take back about somebody. Like, you said that about me. Just like when you called me a bad person on that podcast, which you addressed in that video.
And we drove across the country in my 2000 Buick Century.
What?
And I'm here.
This is a cool friend and story.
Oh, he's actually like a really bad person though. When I saw this clip, I immediately felt bad about it.
Why did you call me that then? I thought I was a bad person because what I did to you in Florida, the ghost thing. But then you retracted me being a bad person, that you never should have said that. So then why am I a bad person? What did I do to deserve you to say that I am a bad person on a podcast? God, there's so much. Like, it's just, I feel like I'm in an alternate universe telling this story. Like, it is just so connived and weaseled and what? Okay, in your YouTube video, you show a text message of it literally saying, you've got the wrong number. Gabbie, that's not you have my new number now. So she's texting the wrong person. She's like, I tried to reach out to him privately.
I reached out to Alex immediately because I wanted to personally apologize to Alex for saying that publicly. He ignored my call. I texted him. He said that he didn't want to talk because he was sleeping, and I didn't hear from him again. A couple days later, he put out a video. In a second video that he put out about me, he said that he was just waiting for an apology, but the reason I did not apologize to Alex is because I let him know that if he wanted to talk about it, to reach out, and he did not reach out. He just wanted to make a video about it.
There's a girl on YouTube by the name of Rachel Oates. She is a YouTuber. She reviews books. Just so happens this is one of Gabbie's most furious things that she's been going off about on rampage mode, is Rachel Oates made several videos, multiple videos, critiquing and criticizing her poetry book. Gabbie Hanna released a poetry book, which a lot of other YouTubers covered and reviewed and made fun of and mocked and joked about, and just overall, can we just establish one main fact? YouTuber books, 90% of them are probably dog shit. Anytime I hear of a YouTuber book, I roll my eyes. Whatever the case may be, a lot of people covered this book and got a lot of publicity. And just so happens that Gabbie Hanna sent a book, her poetry book, to this YouTuber, Rachel Oates. I guess they were friends or something. And Gabbie sent this hoping that Rachel would be favorable towards the book and, praise the book, which is not what happened at all. And Gabbie was rampage level over 9,000 Goku. She wasn't having it. And she proceeded on Twitter, called her names on social media, just saying horrible, horrible, horrible things because Rachel didn't view her book and reviewed her book favorably. She deleted her Twitter when people started calling her out on her manipulative, relentless towards me, like a cowardly loser.
Rachel is trying to deny the reason she deleted Twitter, so I actually want to let you know what happened. So we have a mutual friend who messaged her outside of me. I literally did not talk to him at all. He saw that she was doing, and he messaged her and he said, have some compassion. You've been the center of hate campaigns online. Leave this girl alone. Like, you're just bullying. And then she started a Twitter campaign trying to say that I manipulated her friend into defending me. That's how narcissistic and abusive this person is and how much she cannot accept any type of criticism, which is hilarious because she really thinks that I can't accept criticism when the first time her friend confronted her about her shitty toxic behavior. She blamed me, the permanent scapegoat of the internet, and then stopped talking to her friend. Face yourself, bitch. Like, that's crazy to me. And you know why she hasn't critiqued my work in months? Because the last couple times she did it, she started getting overwhelming hate from people both on the internet and in her real life, because people started to see through it. They were like, why are you still going at this girl? Like, relentlessly. She can't stop. And it's because when she talks about me, she gets hundreds of thousands to millions of views, and then she posts a little makeup get ready with me and it gets 4,000. That's why she cares about my art. She's not a artist. I don't care about her opinion because she has no accomplishments in art or has proven to me that she's actually intellectual enough to understand art. I accept my criticism from talented, smart people, not abusive, toxic, exploitative bullies on YouTube.
Now, what you're not told is that Gabbie sent her audience after Rachel because Gabbie was so angry over the fact that her review of her book wasn't favorable. So Rachel Oates actually responded in a pinned YouTube comment on her video posted October 26, 2020. And quite frankly, when I look at the ratio of 34,000 likes and 621 likes, I don't really see that as getting really a lot of hate. That's pretty a positive. That's a high ratio to dislike ratio video. Not that likes or dislikes make a video, but I'm curious on where all this hatred towards Rachel is in the comment section of her own videos, because I definitely don't see it. But regardless of that fact, she did respond. Rachel responds by saying, "My mistake, I misunderstood. She went crying to him about making the review before I published it and only told me after it was published. It was never explicitly said it was a guilt trip, but I see no other reason for them to say anything / reach out to other than to get me to change, stop, or take down my review. But it still stands that she reaches out to me and sent me her book with the implication that I'd review it, and then cried to our mutual friend about it being messed up over the fact that I was reviewing it. I only did what she asked for, and her going to Jimmy like that feels like an intentional way to stir the pot. A review is a review. I reviewed a book, not Gabbie. Telling me Gabbie is scared of your review or whatever is not going to change the content of the book, and therefore not going to change how I review it. I stand by my review 100%, but I also feel incredibly manipulated and disgusted by this whole situation." I still can't believe I wrote a funny, engaging, thematic poetry book about all of these different things, and as my first release, and all the people who cared to share was, quote, link in bio, and family is relatives. Now, one of the patterns of behavior you will see from Gabbie is that anybody who speaks out non-favorably of her are narcissistic, manipulative harassers. And she uses the term gaslit almost frequently. Like, gaslit and manipulative are the two words she uses constantly, almost in any interaction, all of the time. And I just feel like a lot of the instances in which she's using these terms are actually not actually applicable to the situation, because people are allowed to have different opinions, people are allowed to dislike things. That doesn't mean you're being gaslit or manipulative because people aren't in favor of you or don't agree with you. Can we please stop using these words to apply to things where it's not applicable? Regardless, this post is just weird to me, because here you are literally bragging about how, you know, how funny it is, how engaging this is. It's like you're putting yourself on this pedestal of like, look at how deep I am with my teenage poetry. I am the most influential poetry writer there is on this nation. My name is Gabbie Hanna, and if people don't take pride in my work, then they are terrible people. But look, here's the thing. I was a teenager too, okay? I have a video years ago I did on my cringy poems and stuff like that. Poems when you're a teenager are cringy, I get it. But Gabbie, you gotta learn to laugh at yourself. Well, it is bad. And in fact, I took a look at the 4 images that you shared here, and I'm not gonna read these poems out to you, but you can, here they are, and we're just like skimming over these, and these are her poems that she wanted to highlight. These are her funny, engaging, I guess this is what she considers like the best work she's ever made, which is fine. Like, that's the thing, is art is subjective. It's a very subjective thing. Everybody has different tastes in what they find and like. Compared my book to Edgar Allan Poe as if they're in any way the same genre. It's like comparing Shancock Redemption to Step Brothers. She doesn't understand art. Don't take her recommendation. She's not as knowledgeable as she thinks she is. A published author. Look, the 4 poems you shared in that post aren't any better. I don't find them really that funny. It feels like something that I would write when I was 15, 16 years old. And if you think that your work is profound, that's fine. But Gabbie, you have to understand is that art is subjective. It always is and always will be. Just because you find your poetry to be so powerful and influential to yourself doesn't mean that other people have to do that. They don't have to think the same way that you do. And by posting what you've done here in this post on Twitter, it actually makes you look worse, in my opinion. Personally, I feel a bit embarrassed for you, Gabbie, to make a post trying to point out your best works in your book that people are, you know, making fun of or criticizing. That just screams that you really can't take the fact that people don't like some of the things that you write or you post. And that's okay. The internet is full of a bunch of manipulative, money-hungry losers. I'm done letting myself feel bad about it. I just think this is unnecessary to say about your part on criticism / hate, whatever you want to call it, but multiple tweets calling someone obsessive and a bully while being obsessive and a bully back is an interesting way to go about things. I just don't give a ducky anymore. I think it's really lame that a bunch of non-creative, insecure, neurotypical people dragged my poetry for months for views on YouTube and TikTok instead of creating their own art. Gabbie, what screams insecurity is your response to all of this. And I'm not sure labeling everybody as neurotypical simply because they criticized your book or made fun of it is the hill that you want to, you know, fight on. Art is subjective, it will always be subjective, and just because you're upset about that subjectivity and people not falling in line with how you view art and subjectivity does not mean that they are bad people and should be harassed by you directly. Everybody's allowed to stand up for themselves, but it's not you standing up for yourself, it's you literally calling people names, labeling people, putting everybody in a box as narcissistic gaslighters and manipulators. That's like, again, all of the time. You label everybody in that category. Guys, we're not done yet. Because in the last few weeks, she attacked another person by the name of Oscar, who is a musician on YouTube, has around 90,000 subscribers, very, very talented man. But why did Gabbie Hanna attack him? Why was she up in his mentions? Why was she putting him on blast? Well, it's all because he liked a tweet, and no, that's not an exaggeration. He liked a tweet. He liked a tweet. The fact that Gabbie Hanna still thinks drama like this will sell whatever she comes out with proof hasn't grown with her audience. It's not a shadow ban, it's everyone's moved on ban. Except the stans, but honestly, just look up where stan comes from. They are... Why did Oh My Gosh Oscar like this tweet? Congrats! His verified like finally got my attention for you, Nick. You have something to talk about now. Go run, 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 make a video. Yeah, so Oscar got blasted for simply liking a tweet by Nick. And when you really get down to the nit and grit of what this is not just beyond petty, this is ridiculous.
So I just had an experience. I'm not gonna blast the person because he didn't do it publicly and he's clearly just like nervous. Somebody liked a tweet in support of the people who have been exploiting and mentally abusing me. And I responded to it, and then he DM'd me and he was like, hey, I don't want any problems. It seems like you're going through it. Just so you know, I'm here to chat. It's an open door if you're not okay. So then I responded and I held him accountable to his portion of it. And I was like, yeah, like you contributed to an ongoing hate train. And then he snapped on me and blocked me. So he didn't actually want to be a listening ear. He actually wasn't offering support. It was performative because he's actually just scared that I'll hold him accountable to his own contribution to a shitty, toxic culture. All of these people are fake. Nobody actually cares about humanity or something that's wrong. They're just scared and they only care about themselves. So that sucks. And then what he said to me, this is gaslighting, is that I was, the reason that I get the treatment I get is because of the way that I responded to him. And the way I responded to him was like, yeah, he DM'd me because he felt bad. I should feel bad about what he did because he admitted to me that he actually didn't know anything that was going on, and he like kind of jumped ahead and supported something without really understanding. That's toxic and that's so I was like, yeah, that like sucked what you did. And then he was like, basically blocked me. Like, what? He literally said, I'm here to chat, here to be a friend. And then the second I'm like, okay, let's chat, he blocked me. Like, what? By the way, I'm actually not going through anything. I actually don't need a friend. I have a lot of really good friends. I'm just defending myself, and women should be able to defend themselves, but people like him, misogynistic, can't face himself, can't hold himself accountable, is going to that it's me being aggressive because he didn't like being called out on something he did and didn't know how to just apologize for it. Dude, I literally thought he apologized to me because of the way he messaged me, and then I was like, hey, thanks for apologizing, and he was like, hey, hold up, I didn't apologize because I told him if you're going to apologize to me privately, do it publicly.
This girl girl brought me into this for simply liking a tweet, and then when extending comfort of any type of empathy, she tells me publicly to apologize amongst an entire novel of my wrongdoing simply for liking one tweet. I cannot. Trying to blast me for blocking her? WTF. Like, this is the message Oscar sent her, and it's a really nice message. And instead of just, being a normal, civilized person, this is how she responds. And it's insane to me how she responds to Oscar. It's just like, I don't understand how somebody has this lack of social awareness when it comes to people actually trying to reach out to her and be nice. Just take a look at how condescending these messages are. If you're actually extending comfort and friendship, do that. Comfort and friendship is apologizing for supporting a statement you didn't look into at the expense of a woman being degraded.
You supported the hate against me publicly, apologized publicly if you mean it. And he was like, I didn't apologize. And I was like, oh, then why'd you DM me? Oh, right. Performative. You don't actually care. You just don't want me to blast you on social media, which I'm not going to, because I don't blast everyone. I blast people who publicly degrade me. That's the difference. So manipulative. Like, this person messaged me like, hey, sorry, I liked that tweet without really knowing what was going on. I'm here for you. I love your music. Keep doing that. You're really great at it. Doors open if you ever want to chat. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let's actually chat about like what's going on and your contribution to it and how you can actually make that right. Like, don't just say what you did wrong, make it right. And then he told me that I forget exactly what he said, but basically implied that I'm toxic and aggressive, and then blocked me so that I couldn't respond again. That's narcissistic abuse.
Like, holy moly guacamole, this is too much. And he responded accordingly. Virtual high five through YouTube, Oscar, for not, pandering to this woman. But no, we're not done yet, actually. We got another thing that happened. She attacked another person on YouTube in, this was all in the week of, April 19th through, April 30th. Like, so much has happened in just a short amount of time with Gabbie Hanna. It's crazy how much stuff she puts herself into. Like, she literally creates this stuff by how she responds. But regardless of that fact, there's a YouTuber by the name of Dom the Bomb. Now, you guys remember the whole smash or pass trend that was on YouTube and Vine and it was a really big thing back in 2015, 2016. People with their relationships and couples, and they would sit down and they would rate Disney characters, they'd rate YouTubers, they'd rate celebrities, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. So this was a trend, and Gabbie Hanna got pulled up as a YouTuber as smash or pass. And Dom, the Bomb, this is the clip.
The Gabbie Show.
The Gabbie Show?
Yeah.
Pass. Why would you pass on Gabbie? It's not my type, man. Shit. She's not my type either. She's not Asian. So.
That's the full context clip. He just says, she's not my type. And somehow, some way, this got brought up in the last few weeks simply because Dom tweeted out that his experience with Gabbie Hanna, she was one of the worst people he's ever met in LA. And Gabbie became furious. Goku level 9000 again. She went onto Instagram to call Dom the Bomb a sexist, misogynistic, terrible, terrible person, and that he degraded her publicly.
Next up to bat is Dominic DeAngelis. He had to come at me on Twitter, said that I was the worst person he's ever met in LA. So let me tell you about the day I met him. So before I met him, he played a game of Smash or Pass publicly on YouTube. And when my picture came up, he dehumanized me and demeaned me. Like a misogynistic, disgusting piece of shit who acts as if he could have a chance with me anyway. So at a party, he approached me like nothing was wrong, and I confronted him about it. And I said, I didn't like that. And he was like, oh, come on, it's just games. And I said, well, you're too short for me to How do you like being judged on your physical appearance? And then he stormed off and didn't like me anymore. You nasty piece of shit. Oh yeah, let's talk about it. You passed me.
I did.
So you mean to tell me that if tonight we got a little bit drunk and I was like, hey, I'm really interested in you. You think you're out of my league?
I don't say you're out of my league. No. Honestly, I'll do anything when I'm drunk.
Just when you're drunk? No. Is it the fact that I'm 3 inches taller than you? Is that the reason you're a little intimidated? Is that why you got fast? So I think we all know that if Dom had a chance to Dom would Yo, it's fine. Nobody on my vlog channel knows who you are.
Pass. Why would you pass on Gabbie? It's not my type, man. Shit.
So what gives Gabbie Hanna? You get on camera, you do a whole rant about how he's a horrible, degrading, sexist, misogynistic person simply because he doesn't like you or has had a bad experience with you. And the really weird thing is that, in actuality, you made a video reacting to people doing the whole smash or pass. You reacted to that series. You reacted to a bunch of videos where people would pass or smash you, and you laughed about it. So, like, it's really, I'm trying so difficult to see your perspective here, but I just don't see how you've been degraded by him in any capacity, and then you're just using these big buzzwords, calling them misogynist, because he chose to say that you're not his type. And I take issue with people who take a dramatic approach to something like that. It's like you're almost looking for something to get upset about. You're looking to be offended. You're looking to get angry over something that at the end of the day really shouldn't matter at all. If you went to, like, you know, specifically emphasize and make fun of your physical features or something, then I would understand where you're coming from a little bit more. But I did a lot of digging. I couldn't find anything where Dom said something degrading about you. From what we've established, you like to twist things, and it's kind of what you're good at. You take things, you exaggerate it, you dramatize it, or you even add info that actually didn't happen just to make it sound worse. And that's scary to me.
I'm drama seeking, right? I started drama. I just want attention! Ah! I do want attention. Please. Please! I do want attention. And I think that this should have attention because Oscar Wilde neglected to include a very large part of the story, which was he involved himself in my life and my situation and publicly liked to degrading me, then went out of his way to message me saying that he didn't know what was going on and offer friendship, and then when he was being held accountable to his own action, he blocked me. This isn't going to work on him though.
At this point in the video, we are pretty much caught up on Gabbie Hanna. But for future reference, Gabbie, please keep your eyes on the road and not, like, hold a camera and, like, film at the same time. That is exceptionally dangerous and irresponsible. Get a mounting tool, put it in your car or something if you want to do TikToks or Instagrams or Snapchats or whatever. You are a very, very big YouTuber, and thus, you do have a responsibility on being safe when you drive. All in all, I want to summarize. We've established something here. We've established a very, very clear pattern that I hope the majority of people who are watching this can see. That Gabbie creates an onslaught of harassment towards other people. She throws very large words at people simply if they dislike her, don't support her, think differently than her, and she loves to try to go behind the scenes, spin narratives, and given her track record in the last, well, this entire video, I believe that she'll do this with anyone, including, I'm fairly certain in some way she's probably going to come at me in some regard, which is fine, because trust me, I can deal with it. Hopefully that's just not the case, and hopefully this video doesn't get copyright struck. But I just wanted to say, if you made it this far in this very, 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 very long video, thank you. Thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in. All my socials are linked down below. A lot of the videos that I've referenced and showcased in this video are linked down below in the description. And a friendly reminder that I have a gaming channel that I recently started in the last few months. It is linked down below in the description. If you want to subscribe to that, it's called Repzion. Just completed Resident Evil 8. Full Let's Play is posted on that channel. I'm trying to expand on some other stuff, and if video games are your thing, well, it's linked down below. Check it out. I'm gonna catch you guys in next week for another video. If you have any suggestions on my content improving, please leave a comment down below on how I can improve my videos, because I'm trying to up the quality with quality over quantity. So, yeah, open to suggestions, leave me feedback. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your May.